Hello and good morning, everyone. I am Topher, and I'm here with my good friend Jamie. We are here with goingfor2.com and doing our first start sit show of the season. Make sure that you are typing in your questions, asking us what you need to know, who should you start, who should you sit, anything like that. So, Jamie, do you have any start sit questions right now?
I got all mine pretty much set up. I had a few that were a little bit tough, but I think I'm good to go for now.
Good. Good. I have one for you as we're waiting for some people to get in here and asking questions and all that fun stuff. Jerry Jeudy versus the Bengals or Calvin Ridley versus the Broncos.
But yeah, I don't want anything to do with Calvin Ridley right now. I mean, it's Cam Ward's first game, man, and
Yeah.
he's going up against the best defense in the league. I think he'll get volume. I just don't know his efficiency, and it's going to be not really a shootout because the Browns suck, but I think the Browns are going to need to throw the ball. They're going to be playing from behind. I think you're pretty much set with Jerry Jeudy.
So that's what I was thinking at first too. And then I was doing research for a show that I do with another company called Fantasy Now Plus. I do a Wednesday night show with them. I want to tell you what I learned about Jerry Jeudy when he is facing the Cincinnati Bengals as of last year. Hey, it is boss man Jeff. Good morning, Jeff. Glad that you could make it on here. Checking out the inaugural show of this year. So, Jerry Jeudy last year, his second and third worst games last year came against the Cincinnati Bengals. He totaled 3 receptions and 38 yards in the matchups combined last year.
Wow, that's scary. But who was the quarterback? That's the problem.
I mean, you also have a 41-year-old Joe Flacco. Yes, we saw him resurge 2 years ago, but I mean, he's closer to AARP than being a starting quarterback efficiently.
True. I mean, he still could sling it down the field. It's just Jerry Jeudy needs to catch the ball because he's known for his drops.
Yes. However, I'll tell you that the games that were happening around him at that time, let me pull it up on Sleeper while we're getting things going here. The games he had around that, he was still doing well. See, Jerry Jeudy right here. Okay, last season. So when he faced the Bengals in week 7, he had 2 rough games before that. So weeks 5 and 6, where he had 1 reception in all 3 of those games. After that game, he had 5 or more receptions in every single game the rest of the season, besides 1, which was against the Cincinnati Bengals. He had no less than 63 receiving yards the rest of the season, except against the Cincinnati Bengals. So you could cough up that weeks 5 through 7. I don't know who his starting quarterbacks were at that time, but you could cough it up to that. But when you see that Jerry Jeudy had games of 142, 85, 235, 64, 108 receiving yards against, he had 235 receiving yards against Denver. He had 108 against the Chiefs. Then against Cincinnati, he only had 20. Like, those all happened within 4 weeks of each other.
So it looks like week 7 was Deshaun Watson for Cincy.
Okay.
So we can just throw that one away.
That's fair. That's fair. I get that. But I mean, it's still a, and I don't want to touch either of them. To be honest with you, I think Jerry Jeudy has better odds to produce more. He has higher odds for that, but I'm not sitting there and super excited to start either of those guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we got our first question.
And is it a defense question? Yes.
Yes, it is. Kunashe. I'm hoping I say it right. I apologize if I do not. Kunashi. Thank you for being our first person to write in a start sit question. Rams or Texans defense, or
Rams versus Texans. Yeah. All right.
Rams defense versus Texans. Gotcha. Or Jets defense versus Steelers.
That's pretty easy for me. I don't really play with defense, but there is one league. It's a home league, and I didn't draft a defense. I drafted Jordan Addison and threw him on IR, and then I picked up the Patriots, and then I dropped the Patriots for the Jets. So I do like the Jets this week. I have them top 5.
Okay.
Rams. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets.
There you go. I actually would go against that. I would say that I would go Rams because that offensive line for the Texans is not very good. But I think that the Rams D line has really stepped it up. I think that they're gonna have better opportunities to sack and to get interceptions. While I think that Aaron Rodgers, though he is old, he's still not going to play dumb.
Yeah, he'll still get sacked. He'll still get interceptions.
Yeah. So I think you can go either way. I think Jets is always a good option. We don't know what the Steelers are going to be this year. There's pretty much everyone besides Jaylen Warren is a new starting asset for them on the skill side of things.
Yeah, he's the only Steeler that I have in my lineup this week, Jaylen Warren.
Yeah, he's the only Steeler I have besides DK Metcalf, I think, on pretty much any of my teams. I do have some Caleb Johnson because I'm a Packers homer, but not a Packers, Iowa Hawkeyes homer. Why I say Packers. I am a Packers homer too. But yeah, thank you for asking that question. Who is somebody this week that you think, Jamie, that is going to surprise some people?
I got 2 rookies in mind. Emeka Egbuka to the moon.
Yep.
I've been talking about it all week. He's going to step into that Chris Godwin role, and we've seen Chris Godwin put up wide receiver 1 numbers last year before he got hurt. So I like him stepping right into that. I know Baker loves him. He's elite. He holds the record for Ohio State's receptions and yards.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have a great career starting with week 1. And another guy farther down on the list, people are low on him, Ted McMillan.
Yes.
I mean, he's going against the Jags, right? Jags aren't that great. They got a new defensive coordinator. And they played a lot of man last year, one of the most in the league. But the new coordinator is switching to more of a zone-friendly scheme. And Tet eats on zone. He had like a 90.6% catch rate in college versus zone versus like a 55% versus man.
Dang.
So I think as long as they're going up against that zone defense, Tet McMillan is going to eat. He's in every single one of my DFS lineups.
Wow. And I put, no surprise here, but I put Brian Thomas Jr. in almost every single one of mine.
I have him in 2.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes, me too. I think, let's see, who did I have here? who was I going to talk highly about that isn't? Was it in my wide receiver category? Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to look right now. Who is somebody that's going to jump out and take a team possibly to a winning week this week? I'm going to go Rome Odunze, actually. Yes, I'm a Packers homer, but you cannot deny the talent that Rome Odunze has. A new offensive system that we saw succeed really well in Detroit under Ben Johnson. And we've seen the peak of what DJ Moore can do. If he's a lone target, if he's, they have to play from behind, all that stuff. I think that Rome Odunze is going to take over this wide receiver one spot in this team. Not saying that DJ Moore won't still be a top 30 receiver. I think he will be, but I think Rome Odunze finishes ahead of him. I think week 1, Monday Night Football, we see that.
I like that call. I don't know what to do with their wide receiver room because there's just so many good pieces. They added Loveland, they added Burden. I think Odunze is going to step up to be the number one eventually. I just don't know if it's going to be today.
Yeah, that's a good point. It could take a little bit of time. It could definitely take a little bit of time for that. I've seen some very polarizing takes from people on Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman, not just for this week against Ravens, because this could be an all-out shootout. I'm assuming that Buffalo versus Ravens is going to be a high-scoring game. I think everyone would rightfully assume that. However, Keon Coleman, what are your thoughts on him for this week, for this season?
Well, I know he's coming off of a small injury. I don't know exactly what it was. Was it a hip or something? Groin?
I think it was groin. Let me look.
All right, but I've been off Keon Coleman his entire NFL career last year, and it took me some talking into, but I'm finally on him. So last week I did this whole segment on Keon Coleman, calling him a breakout. He plays 17 games. I could see like 1,100 yards, 120 targets, but he's only going to catch like half of them because that's the kind of receiver he is.
Yep.
But that still will put him in, if he gets like around 8 touchdowns on the year, that could put him in that wide receiver 24 range. So I know we're drafting him wide receiver 45. I think that's where he was
he's
going.
right around mid 40s.
Yeah, so I think he can step up and be a sneaky top 24 this season.
Yeah, I see, and I'm the opposite. I am very much the opposite of you. I was heavy on Keon Coleman last year. Anytime that I could take him in a rookie draft, second round, boom, he was on my team. I was like, he has everything that you want. He's got the pathway. He's got the quarterback. He's got the lack of explosive play in the receiving room. You've got literally the MVP as his quarterback, or to be the MVP at the beginning of last year. And last season, he had 3 games above 55 yards. He had 3 games with 4 or 5 receptions, no higher than 5 receptions in any of his games. Now, did he catch a lot of touchdowns for the games that he played? Yes, he did. He played in 13 games. And when I say playing in 13 games, he played above 50% in all 13 of those games. So I consider those solid starts. And he scored in 4 of them. But I mean, it's a little, I don't know. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong, but not the way. Jackie, thank you so much for coming in. Start Kincaid or Kraft? Kincaid or Kraft?
Man, I'm gonna have to start Kraft. I just think he's safer. Plus, with Jaden Reed having that foot injury, I mean, you can't throw everything to Matthew Golden, right? So,
Yeah.
Kincaid, man, I want to see it before it happens. Before I start starting him, I have him like outside my top 20, but Kraft is inside my top 10.
Yeah, I think part of what's going on with Kincaid is what's been talked about is that he struggles as a pass blocker. And hey there. I think he struggles as a pass blocker is what's been talked about throughout his career and now this offseason, which is making him not start as much. He had an injury last year where he only played 13 games as well. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those were under 50%. 3 of those came in the last half of the season, probably when his injury happened, week 10. And then from there, he never played above 50%. However, just like Keon Coleman, he only had 3 games above 50 yards. Yes, was he targeted a good amount? Yes, he was. Josh Allen loved him, but I think that Tucker Kraft has a higher ceiling. I think that Tucker Kraft and Jordan Love have to connect in order to beat the Lions. And I don't think that's the case for Kincaid and Josh Allen. So I'm starting Tucker Kraft because I think he's the better player. Boom. Okay. Banksy, hey buddy, give me your favorite stash that will be available in a deep 12-person super flex league. Ooh, that's a good question. Do you have an idea of who that could be?
Let's see, favorite stash in a deep 12-person. So deep, what do you mean by deep? Like 17 roster spots?
Yeah.
All right, I'm pulling mine up now.
I can tell you mine. I know I'm going to say it wrong, but Alec Aomanor.
Yep.
Yep.
I like.
Yeah, Alec. He's been named a starter on that Titans offense. He's not going to be a star right away, just like most rookie receivers aren't, let alone a 4th round rookie wide receiver. He has a Keon Coleman like path, as we talked about earlier, to break out and to be the number 2 in this offense without everything kind of relying on him. He's my favorite to be a fantasy playoffs winner this year. I think that he could break out in week 10 and you hold him on your bench until then. That's my thought.
Yeah, I think he had 2nd round talent coming in, but he fell to the 4th round somehow. But I like him for the future. One guy I would probably stash. Keep an eye on Diami Brown, because we don't know the splits for Travis Hunter, offense, defense. So if Diami Brown's going to be on the field a lot, that could be someone you could pick up. And of course, once Roshan's foot heals, I recommend stashing
Jamie is a diehard Roshan Johnson guy.
Yep.
And I will never understand it, but he is a Browns fan, so he is okay with mediocre or below mediocre play on a consistent level. Oh, here we go. Devin, hey, this is a guy from my big league that I'm in, my main dynasty. Kevin Coleman, breakout year coming. I'm gonna double check, but think that you're only saying that because he is he on your roster? Yes, he is. Yes, I traded him to you. So I hope for your sake, because right now you're deemed the worst team in the league. I hope that Keon Coleman will help you, Devin. Okay. Hey, drop the mic. What's
Up,
up?
Mike?
Thank you for checking it out. I appreciate it. Okay.
Yep.
I don't have a good Irish accent. Top of the morning to you. I don't know. That was bad. And I know it was, but I had to do it. The theater kid in me was like, just go for it. Standard league. Which running back should I start as a flex between Travion Henderson or Tyrone Tracy? For me, this is easy. E-Z, literally how you spell it. Travion Henderson. I think this guy's a freak. I think that they're going to pull ahead in the game. I think that they're going to win the game. They're going to run more. You don't have that competition. I know that Tyrone Tracy has a clear leg over Cam Scatterbo right now, but I think Travion Henderson has a clear mile over Ramondre Stevenson. That's my thought. Jamie?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the better offense, and I think the Patriots are going to be way better than the Giants. In my rankings, I do have Tracy like 2 spots ahead of Henderson, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to start Tracy over Henderson, if that makes sense. So if it was my decision, I would go with Henderson just for that upside.
Yeah, I think I've got Henderson at 15 and Tyrone Tracy at 26. So for me, it's a very, very clear thing. Jamie, where can people find your rankings? Let's throw that out
I have them handwritten.
there. There you go.
Just for my eyes only, but I'm willing to share them if anyone wants to ask.
Yeah. Mine are on fantasynowplus.com. You can check them out there. I'm doing it every week. It's a new thing for me. And I was really good with the draft ones. Like, okay, who do I want to draft? And then I sat down this week and was like, oh, this is a lot harder than I wanted it to be.
Weekly rankings are definitely harder.
Yes. Okay, at a flex position, choose one of 3. Flowers, Debo, or Kenneth Walker.
Man. So Flowers doesn't catch touchdown passes. I'm not a fan of him. Debo, new team, maybe 60, 70% of the snaps. But Walker, man, in that zone run scheme they're going to be running, I think he's going to eat a lot of outside tosses, and he's quick enough. He can get around and have some big plays. So for the upside, I'm going to go Walker.
I would say, in all reality, Walker would be your best bet. In all reality, I'd say Walker. I'm not a huge fan of Walker on a season-long basis, but I think at the beginning of the season, he'll be good. I have Zach Charbonnet beating him out by the end of the season due to his inconsistency and his injury history. I think that Kenneth Walker is a good play now, but not for the long of the season. Debo Samuel could do well, but I would go Zay Flowers over Debo. I'm a big Zay Flowers guy. Real quick information that I've talked about on other shows right here. Zay Flower had a 25.4% target share on the Ravens last year, placing him 19th overall in the league. The next highest target share on the Ravens last year was Rashad Bateman, who had a target share of 15.8%. They both had 9 red zone targets, tied with DeAndre Hopkins and Isaiah Likely, and Mark Andrews had 10. That's a very even red zone target share. Rashad Bateman ended up with 9 touchdowns last year, while Zay Flowers only had 4. Rashad Bateman had a 20% touchdown per reception rate, giving him the highest rate for receivers that had 45 or more receptions. On the other hand, Zay's touchdown percentage rate was a mere 5%, placing him tied for fourth worst in the league. I think that Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman are going to swap touchdowns. I think Zay Flowers is going to be close to 10, but I don't think it happens this week. Long-winded answer for that. My apologies. But I love Zay Flowers. He from day one when he was drafted in Baltimore, he's been a ride or die. He's my Roshan Johnson.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. Drop the Mic has a tough question, and then we will get to your question. Quick dart. Jamor Egbuka. I have been going back and forth all freaking weekend.
So I actually have this in one of my leagues, and I'm going with the Buka. I just think he's going to have that huge game. JMO is more of that boomer bust. There's more targets to go around. Laporta, you got Gibbs, you got St. Brown, now Tesla. So I have Abuka in my lineup over JMO, Mike, if that helps.
I kind of lean that way, but I also don't want to just go all in on a rookie. So last year against the Packers, JMO didn't play in one of the games, but when he did play, he had 8 targets, which was his third highest for the season, 5 receptions, which tied for second highest of the season, and 80 yards. So he produced pretty well. He didn't have a touchdown, but then the following 3 weeks, he did have touchdowns. So his touchdowns were coming right around that time. The previous season, when he played Green Bay once, he had 3 targets, 2 receptions, 51 yards. I think that no matter what, JMO is going to get some good. I think JMO is a good lock for yardage. Egbuka, I think, could get a touchdown this week, and I don't think JMO will. That's kind of where I'm teetering. I think both could be a very good play. I think both of them could have a top 12 ceiling. I think that JMO has a healthier floor. So if you want to play it safer, I go JMO. If you want to go for the big shebang, I'm going for Egbuka. Okay. Quick dart. Thank you for joining us. Should I play Matthew Golden at flex or wait to see how the Patriots use Travion Henderson? Non-PPR. Whew. Ooh. Oh. I, as a Packers fan, as a Packers stan, hardcore, I love me Matthew Golden, especially with Jaden Reed's injury, Dontavian Wick's injury. He's going to be the main target. He's going to be the main target on that offense week 1 right away, especially with injured guys. I still go Travion Henderson because I think the guy's a freak. I think either of them are great plays. I have Golden as I already said earlier. Travion's my wide receiver, running back, 15. I've got Matthew Golden as my wide receiver, 29. So I think Travion is a running back 2 this week. I think Golden is a flex. I'm going Travion.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I do like Golden just because of that Jaden Reed foot injury, but I'm going to go with Travion Henderson. I think he's got more stability, more upside. He's going to touch the ball more.
Yes. Yeah. So you know that me saying start Travion over Matthew Golden, that's a that's a very smart decision, I think, fantasy wise. Ooh, okay. Here's some fun stuff. Chris Rodriguez Jr. has been ruled out. Bill Clinton Krosky Merritt, Euphrates III, should be getting more. I love adding different things to his name every time that I can. Okay. Devin, our Keon Coleman stan. In a league I started, Xavier Worthy. Now I need maximum upside. Garrett Wilson, Roma Dunze, or Matthew Golden in the flex.
Upside, I guess Odunze, right? I mean, Wilson is the most talented, I think, but he's got Fields throwing him the ball. I don't that much.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that, wow, this is tough. I don't think you start Golden. I don't think Golden has the same ceiling as those two do. I could be wrong. I think that if you're looking for higher maximum upside, I think you go Garrett Wilson because he's the better player. And who else are they throwing the ball to? And they're going to fall behind Pittsburgh. I've thoroughly believe that. And I mean, besides a couple games last year, Rome Odunze only caught two touchdowns in 2 games last year. I don't know against Minnesota if they're going to do that same thing. Again, new offense, no Keenan Allen, could change. I hate to say it, but I think Garrett Wilson is the maximum upside. He's an elite talent, even though he has Justin Fields. I think you go Garrett Wilson.
I don't hate it. It was between Garrett and Odunze for me. They're pretty close.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say they're close. If you want maximum upside, Garrett Wilson has proven that. Rome Odunze has had flashes in the pan. Here we go. Chad, another of my guys from my main Dynasty League. Thank you, buddy. Waddle or Olave at flex in a half-point PPR. Oof.
Well, let's see. You got Spencer Rattler or
a sick.
Tua.
Oh no, Tua. I was thinking. Saints are playing the Cardinals, so I was going to say a sick Kyler Murray.
Yeah, for me, this is pretty easy. It's Waddle. I mean, they're similar type players, but I think Tyreek Hill is going to have a pretty bad year this year. He's just a mental case, right?
Yes.
So I can see Waddle stepping up.
Yeah, this is tough. I understand why you're in this predicament, Chad. I think something that we didn't see last year with we didn't see last year with Spencer Rattler is him playing with really any real wide receivers. And now he's got Shaheed and Olave on his side, and that could improve his play because last year he was playing with virtually nobodies. No offense, Mason Tipton. But or Bud Means. You're doing way better in the NFL than I ever would. But in terms of NFL fantasy production, no namers. Chris Olave tends to produce pretty consistently. Jalen Waddle has not, and it's not his fault. I would start Olave because I think Olave is going to get targets no matter what. I think that Miami could easily win this game in Indianapolis and rely on Devon Achane a lot more than what the Saints will do with Kamara. So I'm going Olave. So we are opposite sides. So I'm glad we could help you with that, Chad.
So I have Waddle right outside my top 24, and I couldn't put Olave anywhere higher than wide receiver 40.
Yeah,
because
I'm looking at my rankings right now, and I got to put my foot in my mouth. I've got Waddle at 22 and Olave at 33. So I think based off of my rankings, I could be thinking about it more when I'm looking at this specific question, but based off of my rankings, I like Jalen Waddle more.
And even so does Mike says Waddle to the moon.
And so does Drop the Mic.
Yep.
Mike is a big fan right here of Waddle. I think you start Waddle. I think you go there, and if Chris Olave does better, then I will say that I said Olave. That's how it works around here. If I will say both players, and then I will take the credit for which one I get correct. I mean, that's the smartest strategy, in my opinion, is just be like they both have good qualities and then just run with it. Yeah.
So I have this team where I started Dak Prescott, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, George Pickens, Xavier Worthy. 22.10 combined points. And the most embarrassing part is I'm back-to-back champions in this dynasty league.
I mean,
So you can't always win, right?
correct. I also think another thing that's really interesting is that I think AJ Brown had his doozy this week, but I think AJ Brown will continue to produce. Something that I've seen with Devonta Smith throughout his entire career is that he is boom or bust. He's the most upside boom or bust player I think that is out there that people hype up, because obviously he's a tremendous talent. But with Saquon in the offense, they're not gonna focus on Smith as much, unfortunately. Okay, I was just gonna bring this up. I just noticed a couple injuries. Mooney has been ruled out, just in case that matters for anyone with deep rosters like us degenerates. I appreciate being lumped in with the degenerates. Thank you so much. Ooh, hold on. Chris Rodriguez Jr. is a healthy inactive.
Healthy and active.
Healthy and active, according to Ari Myrov. I love him. Alan Lazard, healthy and active. Hopefully, none of you are in a fantasy predicament that you had to start Alan Lazard, but stranger things have happened. Andrew Thomas for the Giants is also out. So, going back to that Travion versus Tracy, Travion Henderson versus Tracy question that we had earlier today. Tyrone Tracy, a great left tackle for his team, not playing anymore. Let's see.
Shador Sanders is out. Big surprise.
What? Let's see. Will Campbell, left tackle, first round pick for the Patriots, is up. So, again, another big win for the Travion Henderson people. Raheem Mostert is a healthy scratch. So, there are, Texans have Nick Chubb as their bell cow. CMC is expected to play today. Also, fantasy sleeper, if it works out, Xavier Hutchinson is expected to get starter snaps today with Christian Kirk out.
That's interesting. I thought it would have been Jalen Noel.
Right? So, I mean, they're all Iowa State guys. Higgins, Noel, and Hutchinson are all Iowa State guys. So, the Andrew Thomas does matter. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Offensive line does make a huge difference in how these things, how offenses go. So, Travis Hunter, also to start at wide receiver, will rotate at DB for passing situations on second and third down, according to Ian Rappaport. So those are some things to look at. Let's see, NFL injury report week 1. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to see on the updated stuff. Okay, no, I don't need it from a day ago. I need literally like right now. See, this one has been updated. Questionable Jaden Reed. We don't know Jaden Reed's status. I don't know if I would start him in any league right now because he has not been healthy. And they play an afternoon game. His foot, it looks likely that he'll be cleared to play, but upside is noticeably reduced, according to Fantasy Pros 2 days ago.
Yeah, I took Reed out of all my lineups. For example, I'm starting Pittman over Reed in a league. I'd rather even start Tillman over Reed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Kyler Murray's ill.
But he's still playing though, right?
Yes. Malik Neighbors does have a back tightness. He has some tightness going on there. Doesn't mean that he's still going to play. He's not listed on the injury report. Just be aware that that could happen. As somebody that has the back of a 97-year-old myself, a little tweak can go a long way. Good. Some other news: Quinshon Judkins signed with the team yesterday, so he's more than likely not going to get to start playing until at least week 3. From what I'm seeing from reports, expect Dylan Sampson and Jerome Ford to split the backfield. I'm leaning Dylan Sampson on that. They've seen what Jerome Ford can do. Yes,
I'm a huge Dylan Sampson fan.
Yes.
We got
Darren
CMC.
Waller.
Did you see the CMC news?
What about him?
He will play today versus Seahawks. He's good to go.
Yes.
So I just think they look screwing with us, man. Last year, the incident, I saw him pop up again. I was going to be pissed. But it does look playing.
Marvin Mims for the Denver Broncos injury report, and is expected to be the team's number 2 receiver behind Cortland Sutton, but he has had some thigh issues going on there. Good. Darren Waller's not playing. Jake Bobo, Seattle legend, is out with a concussion. So Torrey Horton, I always want to say Torrey Holt. Torrey Horton is up for work as the team's wide receiver 3. Isaiah Likely is out. Hopefully you weren't planning on starting him as your tight end. See. Any other injuries we should be aware of? Looking at people that are out. The Cardinals guard, Will Hernandez, is out. Line does matter. Trevor Penning, the guard for the Saints, is out. Ooh, we got another question. Let's run with this. Thank you for chiming in, Jason T. We're making sure that we're giving out some injury news, but we would much rather answer your question. What kind of trade value does Brian Robinson have?
I'm assuming this is for redraft. I mean, people were just picking him up off waiver wires, right?
Yeah.
I mean, after he got traded, I don't think he was even drafted that much. I know that Corey Krosky-Merritt was getting drafted right around the same area where Brian Robinson was being drafted.
Yep.
Before the season, man, I don't know, man. Outside the top 40, 45, right?
Yeah.
If you want to go like a Trey Benson, maybe.
Okay. And Jason is saying that is for both redraft and dynasty. So what kind of trade value does Brian Robinson have? I think that the next time that we have a CMC injury scare, because this will not be the last time we have one this season, I think that you lean into that a little bit. I think that that's when you do it. But trade value, it depends on the team. If you've got somebody running back needy team, they might pay up a little bit more for it. I would definitely take like a Marvin Mims, who we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
With I would take a Marvin Mims instead of Brian Robinson.
Try to get Keon Coleman, maybe.
I was just gonna say that as well. Keon Coleman, Rashid Shaheed, Hollywood Brown, because you don't know what's going on with Xavier Worthy. Rice isn't going to be there. Marquise Brown was targeted 16 times in that game on Friday night. 16. That's insane. You could also go for a Quentin Johnson, because
I don't think you'll be able to get him now after that game.
You what?
I don't think you'll be able to get him now.
No.
game.
But that's shooting from the hip. I'm coming up with guys.
What about like tight end wise? How about like a Dallas Goddard?
Depending
Uh,
on what my tight end situation is, it's very dependent. I think Dallas Goddard is a perennial 12 through 16 tight end rank. He'll get work, but he'll never be a superstar. I don't know if unless if my tight end position is hurting, I'm not really going to look I'm not going to look to trade a tight end for a running back. That's my thought on it. Also, some people might just want to do a position swap. Isn't the most amazing trade in the world, but you could probably get a Zach Charbonnet, maybe a Trey Benson, both guys that have potential to take more of their backfield this year. A Braylon Allen. I don't know if I'd want Braylon Allen over Brian Robinson. Not really, but if that's your cup of tea, run with it. Those are some of my running back, wide receiver kind of takes. I'd be looking at with a running back, Brian Robinson is probably going to be ranked around running back 40, 45 because he does have the upside of getting into the roster. So I'm looking at that receiver range 40 through 45, like 40 through 50-ish, wherever you've got them ranked and whatever rankings you use.
And then for Dynasty, you might be able to get a 3rd round pick for him.
Maybe a late second.
I doubt a late second, but I got him like right around that Taj Brooks range. I love Taj Brooks. Ollie Gordon, even like
So
Cedric Tillman. Yeah, so that puts him in the 3rd for me.
I get that, but I think earlier in the offseason, people were trading Isaac Guerrero for late seconds. And I think, yeah, correct. Wow. But we all know that if you're a running back in that San Fran offense, you are going to get stuff.
Yeah, definitely some value there. So my best bet I would go see the CMC owner and try to get as much as you can out of the CMC owner.
Yeah. I think, yeah. I'd say target a running back needy team first, then go after CMC. Because you don't know if your CMC guy is going to want to stack and how much he's going to want to pay for having that handcuff there. Ooh, here's something per Jay Glazer. The Eagles offered at least 2 first rounders, a 3rd round, a 5th round pick, amongst other things, to the Cowboys for Micah Parsons, but Dallas declined, unwilling to trade him to a divisional rival.
Oh, wow.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness he landed in Green Bay. Thank goodness. I am all for this. Yeah.
No more questions in the chat. I have a DFS lineup that I'm pretty proud of here.
Okay.
So let's start. You're going to be like, how did you get all these guys on there? And there's a reason. So,
okay.
Drake May, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., Mike Evans, Abuka, Hunter Henry, and then the Texans D. So what I did is I stacked May and Henry for extremely cheap, and I was able to get all those top guys like Neighbors, BTJ, Evans, Kamara, Jonathan Taylor.
There you go. That's very nice. I like that.
Yep. I even got another one with Lawrence, Brian Thomas stack. Again, has Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, but I put London in there. Njoku at tight end, Ted McMillan, because he was extremely cheap, and Abuka. And I also got the highest defense, the Broncos. I didn't get what I was doing. I tried to like go at a lower defense and then like upgrade at these other spots, but I like this team so much, I didn't want to take any players out.
So here's kind of my favorite of this week. I've got Lawrence at quarterback, Achane and Eckler at running back, BTJ, Chase, and Matthew Golden at wide receiver, Kittle as my tight end, Dobbins as my flex, and Broncos as my defense.
I love the Kittle in there. That's awesome.
Yeah. So coming away with Achane, BTJ, Chase, and Kittle all in the same DFS lineup and the top defense in Broncos, running with that. And I think J.K. Dobbins kind of leads us a little bit, leads the team a little bit more earlier in the season. So getting him in the flex for just $300 more than Matthew Golden. Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's impressive.
Let's see. I've got some. So I've got a live pick. I do the picks over on Underdog and on FanDuel as well, and sometimes DraftKings. So I just use them all. But my favorite one is Mike Evans. I've got him 70.5, higher than 70.5 receiving yards. T. Higgins, higher than 5.5 receptions. Austin Eckler, higher than 22.5 rushing yards. I feel like that's extremely low.
It is low. Yep.
Trevor Lawrence, higher than 16.5 rushing yards, because that Carolina defense can't stop anything. And Matthew Golden, higher than 3.5 receptions.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I can't do the underdog pick'ems. Unfortunately, they don't allow that yet in Ohio.
Ooh.
But I do a lot of DraftKings bets that I put.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there's one. It's very interesting. So it's a 7-leg parlay at plus 4,100. So $2 I put on, it's going to win me $84, right?
There you go.
And it's all the Browns. I got Joe Flacco at 260 plus. I got Judy 60 plus. Njoku 50 plus, and Tillman 70 plus. Tillman 4 plus receptions, Judy 5 plus receptions, and Njoku 5 plus receptions. So I painted a picture in my head that the Browns are going to be down. They're going to be chucking the ball, and the Bengals secondary is horrible.
Yes.
So in this scenario, $2 if it hits, I get a lot of money.
Okay. Ooh, Jason, thank you. New question. Dowdle, Caleb Johnson, or Kenny Gainwell?
Ooh, that's ugly, man.
Ooh. Oh.
I guess I'm going to go Dowdle.
I'm going Dowdle too, because there's no clarity. There is no clarity at all in that that Steelers backfield. I think that Dowdle could come in and relieve some Chuba stuff. We don't know if Johnson and Gainwell are.
Well, Dowdle catches passes. Chuba really doesn't. So you got that upside in the PPR.
Absolutely. Jason, William, thank you for checking in. Judy or Pollard at flex and half-point PPR. I don't like it. I hate both of these matchups today for what I stated earlier about Judy and the Bengals seeming to have his number, and Pollard against the best defense in football, in my opinion, in the Broncos. I think Pollard's going to get more opportunities. I don't love either. I would start, if it's me, Pollard. But I bet Jamie would say Judy.
No, I actually have Pollard about a half a point higher. So they are close.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to go Pollard.
There you go. Ooh, that's a tough one, Jason William.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you could even do like a package deal. Either trade Judy or Pollard plus another bench piece to upgrade at the position.
I mean, I'm going to say outside of this week, I like both of those players, especially Pollard. I like Pollard being a RB2 for the season.
I mean, Pollard was probably one of my most drafted players in best ball because you were getting him so late. I think 7th round.
Oh, yeah.
He should have been up there with like the 4th, 5th round potential.
Yes, I like Pollard, just not so much this week. So, so I saw something on, I want to say it was TikTok, somebody being like, this is an insane 3-leg parlay that could win you thousands of dollars. And I'm like, okay, let's check it out. So I did it for $1. This is just $1 in. Christian McCaffrey and Kenneth Walker to each record 10 plus rushing yards in each quarter. Jahmyr Gibbs and Josh Jacobs, 10 plus rushing yards in each quarter. And then Kyron Williams and Nick Chubb to each record 10 plus rushing yards in each quarter.
I like it.
If I win this, it's $20,000, $20,608.
Wow. Well, good luck.
Right?
Again.
What?
I said we probably won't see you coming back again if you win that.
You underestimate the power of student and credit card debt. So, especially that student loan debt. I have my master's. My husband has his doctorate.
Wow.
Yes. So we love our student loan debt. It's our favorite thing. We go to bed every night looking at the student loan debt and just being so thankful for it. Yeah, and I've got a couple like random, random regular parlays out there, just like not going to do anything. Like I threw 25 cents on a 17-leg parlay of random people scoring touchdowns. Like if I get 17 people correct on scoring touchdowns off of a quarter, I get $31,000. Is that going to happen? Absolutely not.
But you don't know if you don't try, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But then you also have to play those smaller ones to make sure that when you're doing those big things, like I've got a 2-leg parlay that Baker Mayfield and Michael Penix each throw for 30 yards each quarter. Same thing with Jared Goff and Jordan Love. Like if all 4 of them throw 30 yards in each quarter, I put $1 down, I get $28. Like you got to make sure that you're doing little things that can get you, 5, 10, 15, $20 back on your returns when you do some of this. Because at the end of the day, you want to come away with more money than you started with each week. Yeah. So even though this isn't a DFS podcast or show, just throwing some stuff out there for you because why not? Okay. We got 1 minute left out here. If any of you, we got 2 viewers right now. If either of you have any last second questions, please make sure you put those in our chat. Make sure you're asking those. What game are you?
Don't sleep on Daniel Jones today.
I know.
Miami.
Oh, that hurts my soul.
Yeah,
it's true.
Josh Downs, man.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like we got any more questions. Nope.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you, any of you that are still watching and any of you that were on the show today. We had I would say for week 1, there was a couple steady streams of questions today that we really got some good answers with. So thank you so much for watching, listening, and we hope you enjoy your week 1. Anything for you to say before we sign off, Jamie?
Just good luck. Go win, because no one likes a loser.
Says the guy wearing the Browns hat.